Festival for July 26th, 27th, and 28th in the ballroom and in here. This is the Taboo Tiki room during SG101. So we have 4 Pacific Northwest bands in this room on Saturday and Sunday. We have the Verb Tones from Portland, Oregon, Desolate Coast from Seattle, the Evanstones from Seattle, and the Seatopians from Boise, Idaho, which some people would consider Pacific Northwest. So we'll give them a little bit of leeway on that.
I would change your mind.
Friday night, July 26th. This is really, really cool for me. I hope some of you like it also. Kind of like the East Coast version of Tiki Orchestra, but a little bit more surfy. It's the Manicuras. Celebrating their 45th anniversary, Mr. Dave Hanson and the Insect Surfers. And then the big headliner for the Friday night is from NorCal, the Mermen. Wanted the Mermen for a long, long time, and now that it's a 3-day event, it helps to make it happen because they're one of those bands where it takes them like 3 hours to set up, and then 2 hours to sound check. So they can do that from like noon to 6, and then the doors open at 6, and it works out fine. Okay, so for the Saturday night, 2 big headliners. This is big, big, big. You guys ready for this? Ghastly Ones reunion. Luckily, I saw them like 30 or 40 times back in the day, but there's some people that have not ever seen them or only saw them a couple times, so everyone keeps bugging me, you gotta get the Ghastly Ones, you gotta get the Ghastly Ones. And I kept bugging Norm about it, and he's like, no, 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 no. But then they just reissued one of their albums on vinyl, and it sold like crazy. Norm called me and goes, I know you've been bugging me about this for years. He goes, I'm gonna turn 60 next year, and the albums sell like hotcakes, so if it's ever gonna happen, it's next year. And I'm like, sweet, oh, cool. So, the other really big name, reunion also, Deke Dickerson's Untamed Youth. So now I'm going to read a bunch of bands, and I'm not sure if they're Saturday or Sunday. We'll figure that out. But we got the Boss Martians from Seattle, and they're finally going to do an album release. It's going to be like a 4 or 6 song EP, so that's really cool. The 2 times that they played before, Evan was like, yeah, I'll have a recording, and it never happened. So now he's finally going to do something. The Coffin Daggers from New York City, and they're actually playing both nights. The Saturday, they'll play like their dark, spooky stuff. And then Sunday, they'll do the Japanese Iliki type things that they've been doing. Saturday will be the Scimitars, Ron's band. And we're hoping for an album, right, Ron? Fingers crossed. They have their 45, but we're hoping for an album. From Canada, Montreal, Canada, we've been wanting these guys for years and years. It's finally going to happen. The Men in Gray Suits. Very cool traditional band. Then we have from Japan, it's 3 women called the Wise. I don't know if you all know them or not, but they came about 15 years ago and they were great. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, there you go. Another band we've been waiting for a few years. You know, COVID made a lot of these bands either, we didn't do anything or they couldn't afford to come. So this is another one where they're coming on a shoestring, budget. But Dirty Fuse from Greece. They have a very cool Middle Eastern / Greek Rebettica type of sound. The lady guitar player plays a bouzouki on a few songs, and I know Dave Hanson will like that. Dave, you might actually have to loan your bouzouki to her if it's in good playing. Mr. Dave Hanson, you might need to loan your bouzouki to Dirty Fuse when they come, if it's in good playing condition. All right, you have to converse with her. Okay, cool. Let's see. For those of you who don't know, Yvonne from the Madeira and Space Cossacks, he has a new band with Jeremy from the Aqualads and John Paul on bass. They're called the Lords of Atlantis. I guess you do know who they are. Sunday night, Sugar Balls, aka Chris Sprague, that plays drums with the Low Straight Jackets. His band, the Out of Sights, and they're going to be doing an all-instro set where it's like some of their spy stuff from the EP that they put out, and then they're going to do some Euro instro, but not Shadows. They're going to do like Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas and Spotniks and other Euro stuff from the 60s, but it's not the Shadows. Martin Cilia from Australia. He has a solo project, but he also was in the Atlantics. Then we have Strings of Flame from Mexico. Then we're going to have a Legends of Surf Jam, a bunch of old guys from the 60s getting up and playing one or two of their songs from back in the day. Then we have the Volcanics, local guys, the Sweaters and Skinny Ties. And from Texas, we have Three Balls of Fire. So there you have it. I hope that sounds like a very cool lineup. Hope you'll all be here. Again, it's July 26th through 28th. Most of it's in the ballroom. Some of the smaller Pacific Northwest bands will be in here, the Taboo Tiki room with tiki vendors and stuff. So again, Christopher.